Hello everybody, it is Tina at Tina Stitches. Welcome to my channel. I am rearranging things a little bit because I'm not in my usual setup. And there's a good reason for that. It's also why I haven't recorded last weekend and everything is all thrown out of whack. So, today is June 10th. It is Thursday afternoon. All kinds of confusion going on here, I know. I would normally be at work right now, but I had to go out of town to sign some papers, and so that gave me the rest of the day off. So I made it back early enough that I could still manage to squeak in a video. And speaking of which, I forgot to change my glasses at work. So this is a throwback because these are my old glasses. I wear them at work because I have to wear a mask at work, and my other glasses are not very conducive to mask wearing, so it is a little confusing, and I should have told them to bring back my other glasses. Oh well, I can deal with it. So I think it's been almost 3 weeks since my last video, which means I should have a lot to show you. It should be a long video, but because I knew that if I kept switching projects, it was going to be a horribly long video. And so I decided to focus on something that needs to be finished soon. And I have 2 projects that I've been working on since 2016. You see Beloved almost every single video. That one was started in 2016. Lately I've been able to get more stitching done on it because I have a system that is working really well. I had been working on it every morning, every single morning. I don't know when that started. I don't think it was 2016. I'm pretty sure that started maybe 2019, right? In 2016, I was doing a rotation. I would work on this project for a week, then a Mirabilia for a week, then a stocking for a week, something along that lines. And by the way, I guess I should mention this is a video about cross stitch. Welcome. If you like cross stitch, this is the place to be. If you don't, maybe you'll like it. Stick around. So anyways, and yeah. Rotation. I was working on a project a week and then switch out on the weekend. But that changed, and I worked on Beloved in the mornings. And I'll talk about that more later because I have another older whip to show you. I'm going to be all over the place. I'm going to try to get this video done in under an hour. We'll see. So I got a little bit of haul too. And I got some finishes. Kind of finishes. But not cross stitch finishes. For a channel about cross stitch. Sorry. This one is one of my oldest whips. I think it's, I'm not even sure if it's older than Beloved, but they were both started in 2016. May was Mirabilia May for me. So I focused on almost exclusively Mirabilias, Nora Corbett as well. The only ones that did not qualify for Mirabilia May is the Beloved Project by Heaven and Earth and the Owl Forest Embroidery Alice in Wonderland, because I gotta keep up with that, which you'll see. This is in a project bag that I had cut and had ready to assemble before I moved here, so almost 2 years. And so I put it together. I have 3 of these, and I was gonna give them away, and then okay, so this is why I'm filming so late, is because we moved my oldest son back in the house. Well, I say back in the house, but he never lived in this house. We moved him into the house. He's going to be moving into his own house down the road, figuratively and literally. And he takes possession of that place in about 3 weeks. And he was getting really stressed out living where he was, so he moved everything into storage and came here. That's why I'm in the dining room instead of the craft room, because that's where he's sleeping, because he works nights. He's sleeping there right now, literally. Okay, so I made this project bag. I have one other one that I made, and I don't use it. I use it, but I don't hold Q-snaps in it. And I was about to give up on the vinyl front project bags. And I made these. I had 3 of them cut, ready to go. I did them, and I was going to send them off to somebody. And then he moved in, and my stuff is all over the place, and he put the remote control on this project, because I had it leaning on my side table. I had this on it, and he put the remote on it, and I gave him heck. And I told my husband later on, I said, has he not lived with me before? He's in his mid-20s, and I started doing cross stitch when he was 2. So he has been told not to put anything on my stitching, and I have learned to put my stitching away. So this is coming out of the Q-snap just for you. It's actually at a point where I need to move it anyways. So this project, 2016 Mirabilia, it's a big one. It's still available, and I am stitching it on called for white. Because that's what I did in 2016. I did what they told me to. White. I want to say this is Cashel linen and not Belfast, but it's 32 count. And to be honest, I can't even remember what the whole thing looks like that I've stitched so far, because it's been in a Q-snap at a certain position for so long, so that I could just pick it up and work on it, which I have been doing. And let me tell you, I almost have it all finished. All of the cross stitch is almost finished. There is still a lot of beads to go on this. 7 different colors of beads, and some of them have multiple packets. This is Crystal Christmas by Mirabilia. And if I can edit, here's where it was when you last saw it. And here it is now. Finished her first and then worked my way. I had worked from the center over to this one and then finished this one and worked my way back across. And I had my Q-snap on this little cherub here for a long time, and she's finally finished. And apparently I had missed quite a bit on this fella before I went all the way over. So I mean, it was all of this tip here, back stitching, and the whisper on here, and all of her wings. The wings were done in May. The back stitching there, the whisper and her hair, and finishing that off. That's what was done recently. Now, you weren't getting a very good view of it, so get a little closer. So these are the two that really got focused on. So I think all that's left is, as far as cross stitch, this tree needs all of this blue fuzzy stuff. Arctic Rays. Rainbow Gallery, Arctic Rays, blue fuzzy stuff for the snow on the tree in the center. And then the rest of the words. And there's a couple of things on the bottom. Medallions. that'll have to be done. And I believe they're majority beads. So this is a big deal. And Gidget. Sorry. Try to edit that out if I edit. So try to move this along. Okay. Put the stitching in the bag. Okay. The next project I have to show you is another one that I probably should take off the Q-snap. We'll see. It's in my Alice bag, so can you guess what it is? It is my Owl Forest Embroidery Alice in Wonderland SAL stitch along, and I am stitching the multicolor version in the over dyed threads that I pulled that are similar to the DMC threads that they say are similar to their Owl Forest threads. So yeah, I have to take it out or you won't see all the progress. So it's going to be a big pile of Q-snaps on the table. It's a good thing I don't have to make dinner, because when we went out of town, we stopped by, this sounds crazy, but we stopped by A&W and loaded up on burgers, because it's been a year since we've been there. So here are the colors that I have chosen. And some black for good measure. This is the bag that I kept my bothy Alice in Wonderland in, so that's why the random black thread, it was in the bag. This thread keep I got from Vicky at Stitch and Button. And I am stitching this on what I believe is 32 count linen from my stash. 32 count raw. I started in the center because that's where you start. This is part 1, and I believe that's part 2, along with this is part 2, and that's part 3, and this is the start of part 4, which is Alice falling down. So as you can see, I'm mostly caught up. There's still this pattern has to go all the way across, which I did not get done, but that's okay. Unless I have to count off of it somewhere, it's something that can be done as I find the time. I'm working on this on my lunch hours when I take that long. And I do believe I like this color green better than the original green I picked here, so that one will have to come out and be replaced with that. And a new needle minder from Owl Forest Embroidery. So that's where that's at. Now, speaking of the needle minder from Owl Forest, I live in Canada. I placed the order. I was not worried about it until somebody had mentioned that they heard that people couldn't order from Russia in Canada, and then I started to panic, but it showed up. It's here. Same with other stuff that was part of that order and that you'll see in haul. So here are, these are other finishes, which I'll show you right after I show you this finish sitting right over here. It is one of the biggest projects I've worked on. It's also one of the oldest. Right now, 2016 is when I started it. It is not coming off the Q-snap. It's not on a Q-snap. It's not coming off the scroll frame. This time, maybe in a couple weeks. But I have 2 page finishes on Beloved. Okay, 1 page finish. The last page in that row is 10 stitches wide, but it's still a page and it's finished. So this is a really tight corner, so I can't really stand up, but I'll try. Okay, so I've been working over here, and if you remember, there was some empty spots and the black didn't come all the way down. This is a lot of black. Lots and lots of black. So that's the first page, and then the next page is right over here somewhere. That's all finished, and right over here somewhere is the next page break. So I just need to fill those stitches in there and have another real page finish. I don't want to hit the microphone. Sorry if that made a noise. But look at the detail. I've been stitching this one color, in the mornings I'm stitching either black or another dark color. Just keep going with it, and I find that I can get over over 100 stitches. I can get 180 or more if it's just straight black in those really dense black areas. If it's the confetti area, then I'm lucky to hit 100. So that's why I changed my method of working on it to speed it up. And it's only half stitch. But I only get like 20 to 30 minutes in the morning before I have to go off to work and stuff, so I needed to make it work better. So I do the more confetti-ish areas on the weekend. Watching Flosstube, I sit right here because TV's right there. Yeah, there's a wall in between, so I have to lean over to see most of the TV, but anyways, so I have goals for June, and so far it's been good. And the last time I saw you, it was May, and I don't know if I showed you this start. I have a start to show you. It was Mirabilia May, and I had 3 mirrors that I wanted to start. Alright, there's like 5 or 6, but 3 that I had everything ready to go. And I showed you the first 2, which were Queen Mariposa and Cassiopeia. And this is the 3rd one. And this brings another finish to the table. I've been wanting to turn this fabric into a project bag. I got this fabric with a few other pieces that I had bought online to make the project bag for the letters from Mom, designed by Jeanette Douglas, that I modified to say Graham. I needed fabrics to make the project bag. I had to get a variety, so this one I thought was beautiful all on its own. Poppies. I was going to put a red top, but then I thought black top with the red zipper. And pale green inside. One of the things that I tend to do for these type of bags is I put a pale pastel inside, because I feel like if I put a bright color, like say the black, a dark color on the inside, then that might bleed onto the project, and we don't want that to happen. So I gotta, get going here. Adia, the Garden Fairy by Nora Corbett, Mirabilia. This is my last start for Mirabilia May. I don't think I showed you the start, and I had it on the Q-snap, and I had to put the Q-snap in something, so it went into the other project bag that I made. Vinyl front. This is stitched on 32 count Huntress Belfast linen by Picture This Plus, which I just realized is the same fabric that Alyssa from Stitching at the Cabin is stitching her pandemic on in shades of yellow. Great minds, right? Adia on Huntress, which kind of matches my shirt. And that's upside down, I think. Yeah. That's the right way. So it looks great. It's really gonna pop. And these are just the lighter colors. That's one of the darker colors there. So yeah, it's looking great. So I started that at the end of May, and at the beginning of June I put it aside. I worked on it for about 4 days, put it aside to work on my June projects, which are, so my plans for June is to get some of these things finished. I don't know what kind of hashtag we could come up with. If we do, it's like finish it June. Just get it done. And so I got some project bags made. I got the stitching done on Crystal Christmas. I got some page finishes on Beloved, on its way for more page finishes. I have 6 other projects. Okay, 5 other projects that are in the finish lineup. I have a plan. It's not much of a plan. It's a little star beside the projects that could be finished anytime now. I did want to get a reindeer finished, and I have 3 of the Nora Corbett Christmas Eve couriers. 3 of them are very close to being finished. We'll see if one of those happens, but so the other project bags that I made, this one I made a long time ago, and I discovered in my stash more of that beautiful fabric. So this one I topped with purple, and these are now my Mirabilia sister projects, Queen Mariposa and Cassiopeia, because those 2 projects remind me of my sisters, and these are very similar bags, so sister projects. Don't ask me which one's in which. And I discovered I had more Alice in Wonderland fabric. I had enough to make another bag, and I barely had enough lining. So that was made. I had it cut out for a long time, but I didn't have it actually fully assembled. But there it is. And now this one has a story. So I stitched this about a year ago, and I stitched it with the called for threads, except I did have to switch one out because it blended with my fabric too much. And this pattern is now on its way to a new home, and I hope they get it soon. This is Jeanette Douglas's Letters from Mom. They had it assembled a certain way, which was beautiful, but it wasn't really the way I wanted to finish it. So I finished it like I do most of my project bags. And I had debated about making it, either make it longer or take the top part off. You'll notice mine all have this type of a top, and I debated just making it just straight with a zipper just across the top. I wanted, out of all the fabrics that I bought, this is the one that I was drawn to for multiple reasons. It's beautiful, and it has birds on it, and my grandma was a collector of bells that had birds on it, and those are in storage right now. But I do have, there were three of them given to me and my two sisters, and I have two of them. One of them I'm holding for my little sister, and this is the bag. So I wanted to make sure I got a bird on the side here. And there's a bird on the back. And there's also daisies. Now the daisies are not a remembrance of my grandmother. They have nothing to do with her, but they do have something to do with my grandfather on my other side. So those are the elements that I wanted to keep from this fabric on this piece. And I think I lined up the top part pretty good. So all of the pieces that I was able to cut, this is the part that I was wondering, should I have it be able to be longer so that I could have more of that piece in there. And inside this bag are a few things. And the most important thing was the folder of letters. These are actual letters from my grandma. So those are in there. And my grandma was a war bride. And a few years ago, an artist, Bev Tosh, had created these created a art installation that included portraits of war brides on plywood. She painted them, and they're beautiful, and there was a book published. And that's my grandma. And if you are able to get a copy of this, there's also a little blurb. That's her, and there's a little blurb about her. My sister found this in Calgary, and she bought everybody a copy. And Grandma also wrote books. The Lost Resort. She married a Cree soldier, and he had been establishing a tourist camp up here in the bush. And these are her stories of coming from London, England to Ontario, Canada. And there's the second book. And the third book, which was stories from before. And she also wrote a children's story. These are not available. These were not, published, mass-produced. So I have a few copies of a couple of them for my children. If you want one, I can see if I can get some. But the last time I tried, I reached out to my uncle and I don't know if there's any left. I'm trying to close the zipper very slowly. Okay. So I mean, this has my grandma's mementos, but there are a few other things that I have around the house of hers. I might put her recipes in here, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm glad I was able to get this fully finished. So that leaves everything but haul, and I believe I buried the haul. There it is. So there's not a lot. I just placed an order with 123 because I needed some. What did I need? I needed more Q snaps because if I'm going to work on the Christmas Eve couriers, the best size of a Q snap for that is 8 by 11. And I don't have any that are free. And I'm just looking at the table and I just took stuff off of an 8-inch and stuff off of an 11-inch. So I really do like the 11 by 11, and so I ordered 2 more of those. But anyways, the 8 by 11 Q snap is the perfect size for working on the Christmas Eve courier. I had been doing it in 8 by 8, in that 8 by 8, but you end up cutting off part of it. So this way I won't have an excuse to work on the Christmas Eve couriers and get them finished, because honestly those are like my third oldest project. And those are from 2019. I have everything right here. 2017. Yeah, Crystal Christmas is 2016, Beloved is August of 2016, and the Christmas Eve couriers are Mania 2017. Yeah, that makes sense because it's been 4 years since I've started Flosstube, and those were my Mania starts that first year. Anyways, I was telling you about my haul. Got distracted. These are the threads for Queen of Hearts by Owl Forest Embroidery. And yes, I bought the digital pattern as well. And I would have bought the kit, but they haven't had the kit in ages. So I went ahead and bought the threads. And one of the reasons why I bought the threads as well is so that I can compare my conversion to some of the threads that they have. I've had these for over a week. I haven't done any conversion. Comparing. Because I wonder if this is the same red that they use on the Alice in Wonderland SAL, and is my Turkish red close, and that's what I placed an order for. And I didn't add any Turkish red. I guess I'll have to place another order eventually. I'm not out. But yeah. So I have the threads for the Queen of Hearts pattern, and I got the Alice needle minder, and I also got the Rose needle minder. And that's it. Plans for June. There's the June acrostic. I ordered some floss for the Jeanette Douglas strawberries for the monthly magazine challenge. June is summer strawberries. It's in a magazine. I got that covered. SWIM is for the acrostic. I'm going to try to get out sewing scissors. That's another one I want to get finished. W is Welcome by Teresa Wensler. It could use a little love. I really need to mark this. I need to take a picture of Crystal Christmas because that's icy. And I've been working on that one like crazy. And for M, I wrote down Queen Mariposa, but it could also be, I could also use Mirabilia and put in Crystal Christmas and say I'm done with 2 of the letters. But we'll see. I mean, I honestly wasn't thinking about pulling out Queen Mariposa again after working on that one for so long, because it's nice to see something getting so close to being finished. And I might work on it even more. And it works for Mirabilia. So, anyways, this has got to be a really long video. I don't know why my computer does, or my camera doesn't display how long it is, but it's probably more than an hour. So I've just been on and on and on. Okay, time to stop, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be home any minute now. Yeah. Until next time, which at this point, who knows when that's going to be. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Stay safe. Be kind. Happy stitching. Bye.